Their biggest complaint is my customer isn't coming first. The customer isn't getting their loan done. Can you kind of speak to that?
Every person that enters, whether you're a loan officer, whether you're an owner, whether you're a processor or a closer, owns the loan. Hello, my name is Jason Spooner. I'm the CEO of SurePath Lending. And today we have Shelly Amason, who is the CEO and founder of RightStaff, who's a big recruiter here in Dallas and who I've used personally for the last couple of companies that I've been engaged with. So today we're going to go over one, SurePath Lending at a high level, and also loan officers. How do you get them? Why you should get them? Who you should get? And the best fit for your company on a number of different levels.
So I think the obvious question here, Jason, and I'm excited to be here because it's a lot of fun. I've worked with you a long time. Why should a candidate come to work for SurePath Lending?
Great question. So for the last probably year and a half, a number of us, there are 4 owners, a number of us have got together. We all have about 30 years worth of experience in the industry at different levels. And if I categorize it at a high level, I'll say the 4 owners have an exceptional amount of experience in the industry. The second is culture. When we all came together, we all had the same common mindset, right? From a kind of growing a family, but also at the same point doing the right thing. And the third, I think our comp structure for the sales side is probably one of the more aggressive in the market.
So something that really struck, besides comp plan, I think for some of the major producers, expand on your culture and your leadership.
Okay.
I think that's super important.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, like I said, there are 4 owners. We've got probably about 15 to 17 years experience on 2 of the owners in your classic C-suite, right? So former CEOs, former presidents, former COOs of companies. We've managed companies as small as 20 to roughly 10,000 employees that reported through us. We've spanned 8 different banks from both the servicing and the origination side, as well as 5 countries that we've built businesses in and startups. So from the perspective of who we are and the amount of experience we have, it was a great niche. It was a great fit. For the 4 combined, we have over 60 years of servicing experience and over 70 years of combined origination and sales experience in the industry. Meaning that between the 4 of us, again, we've managed upwards of 10,000 folks and built origination shops that we're doing, roughly $5 billion a month, all the way down to about 50 million in the low side. So we've got the dynamics of a team that came together and the right fit to make this work. Outside of that, I would think the third biggest piece of this is your compliance and legal side. And 2 of the folks have a background in just that, in both, in building the compliance and then having the legal functions around it to make sure that everything is goes very smoothly. I think from the cultural side, as I said, when we all came together and we all formed a partnership, we trusted each other. We understood the experiences that each one of us brought to the table. There was a very, very high level of trust that we were going to do the right thing. And in doing that, I think we built everything around one concept. And that concept was service, right? We had to bring service to the table because no matter who, from the ownership side and our level of experience and where we were, whether it was a bank, whether it was a smaller company, what we found was the folks that were in the line simply threw the loan over the fence, right? And they threw it to somebody else and they had silos built in. So we lost a level of communication. We lost a level of service. And what we found was we were upsetting agents. We were upsetting the brokerages. We were upsetting the consumers. And they couldn't get it right. So what we built was essentially a village, right? There are no silos. Everybody is responsible for that loan from the time the application comes in to the time we close the loan. Right. And there is one edict, and it's this simple, which is the client and the agent first, period. And if you're a loan officer that wants that type of culture, that wants that type of philosophy from the leadership team, as well as every employee in the company, then we're a great fit for you. If not, then SurePath Lending isn't your place.
All right. So, what I heard you say, which I feel like is so important and invaluable, is we're in the marketplace and we're talking to these loan officers, right? And these are guys, men and women that are rainmakers that make it happen. Their biggest complaint is my customer isn't coming first. I don't have the communication. I don't know what's happening. Um, and it all comes back to the realtor is not that happy, and really the customer isn't getting their loan done.
Yeah.
So can you kind of speak to that? Because I really think that's huge when you're talking to these loan officers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think from a culture, as I initially said, we built everything around service. So from a service perspective, and I'll touch upon this a little bit more when we get into the infrastructure and the IT side that we built, to
Sure.
support everybody when they come in. But you hit it on the head, which is we we interviewed hundreds during about a year and a half as we were building, hundreds of agents, and not just that, but title and insurance folks. And we basically said, okay, what is it that you run into every day?
Hmm.
And you hit the exact same thing, which is communication. And we never close on time, or we randomly or periodically close on time, whatever
Right.
the feedback was, but it was consistent through everybody. And what we came back with is an edict just on that, which is, and I'll explain a little bit more on how we do that, right, on the infrastructure and the tech side. But from the cultural proponent, every person that enters, whether you're a loan officer, whether you're an owner, whether you're a processor or a closer, owns the loan, right? So from the perspective of touching the loan, we have both a human component and you have an IT component.
Hmm.
And the IT, of which I'll go into, that we chose does exactly that.
How
If
does it do
somebody,
that?
if
Like,
it's auto triggered through AI and it's auto triggered through every process step that it goes, if you don't hear something in 24 hours, something goes off, right? So if your loan officer forgets, your processor forgets, the IT is programmed not to, right?
wow.
What we also do, which I think is a little bit unique, is the owners actually do a loan every 1 to 2 months, meaning they'll take an application, they'll put the application through the process, and they'll ensure that everything we said we're going to do is getting done.
Wow.
And if something misses, we polish it, right? But lather, rinse, repeat. When it works, we do it again. If we find a little bit of a hole or we miss something, then we fix it. We fix it live, and then it doesn't happen again.
That's
But
awesome.
again, you're looking at agent and close on time.
Hmm.
And that's the edict. And that's something we have to hit each time. Or we're not going to grow. We're not going to get the business.
Right. You won't have any
We
scalability.
don't have any scalability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. That concludes this week. And if you like what you heard, please subscribe or follow us on all social media. And I look forward to seeing you next week.